The movie opens in a dense, dark jungle, where a group of people is trekking through the wild terrain. They pass by a broken fire tower, which stands as a lonely sentinel in the vast wilderness. Upon this broken tower, there is an old, beautiful locket resting on a piece of splintered wood. One of the members of the group, unaware of the ominous significance of this locket, picks it up. As they continue their journey, the ground suddenly begins to tremble. The peaceful atmosphere shifts into something much darker. From beneath the earth, a monstrous figure emerges, tearing through the ground with an overwhelming force. This creature, a terrifying human-like monster, has been lying dormant under the earth for years, only disturbed by the disappearance of its locket. With the locket now in someone else's possession, the monster awakens in fury, determined to retrieve it. The monster stumbles upon the lifeless body of an animal trapped in a snare near a tree. The sight is accompanied by a camera mounted on the trunk, which gives the creature a clue that there must be humans nearby. The monster, sensing danger and the presence of others, grows more agitated. At the same time, a scene unfolds in a nearby area. A forest officer is in a heated argument with a man who lives in a house nearby. The officer, furious, chastises the man for placing dangerous traps in the forest. He warns that if a tourist were to get trapped, it would cause serious problems. The man, seemingly unconcerned, argues back, but neither of them knows that the monster is closing in on them. As the argument continues, the monster moves silently toward the house, its massive form lurking in the shadows. The forest officer, frustrated, leaves, and the man heads back inside his house, grabbing a gun from the closet. Unbeknownst to him, the monster is already at his doorstep. When the monster enters the house, it immediately notices the locket lying in plain sight. As it picks it up, the creature sees a reflection in the mirror, a shadow that isn't its own. This vision is a haunting reminder of the monster's past. The shadow in the mirror is a manifestation of its long-lost memories, particularly of a moment when its father gave it the locket, telling it never to let it go. This explains why the locket is so vital to the monster. It is not just a trinket, but a symbol of the bond between the monster and its father, the only thing that could keep it dormant and at peace. Without the locket, the creature has been in a constant state of unrest, and now it is desperate to get it back. Before it can take the locket, the homeowner appears from behind, realizing too late the danger he's in. When he sees the monster, fear grips him. Though we've only caught brief glimpses of the creature up until now, the full terrifying sight of it is enough to paralyze him with fear. The monster is not just physically intimidating, but also psychologically horrifying, as its eerie presence fills the room. The man, terrified and helpless, couldn't do anything as the monster took the gun from his trembling hands. Paralyzed with fear, he ran into the forest, hoping to escape, but the creature followed him at a slow, deliberate pace, almost as if it didn't need to rush. The man stumbled through the forest, desperate to escape, but it was too late. He fell into one of his traps. The monster didn't even flinch at the sight of him. Instead, it casually approached the trapped man, its hands coated in blood. The creature's red hands, its massive form looming over the man, tore into him mercilessly, ending his life in a horrific display of power. Once the man was gone, the monster returned to the house, its blood-soaked hands still clutching the locket. But as it picked up the locket, the creature realized something that made it stop in its tracks. The locket wasn't his. He had killed an innocent man for something that wasn't even his. The realization hit him like a crushing blow. The creature, now more determined than ever, set off once again into the forest to find its locket. As he walked through the woods, he came across the gruesome remains of the man, his body torn apart and scattered across the forest floor, a chilling reminder of the monster's wrath. The monster didn't seem to care about the carnage it left behind. It was single-minded in its purpose, to find the locket that had eluded it for so long. Eventually, as the creature exited the forest, it came across a group of young people on the side of the road. This group, the same group we saw at the beginning of the movie, was laughing and enjoying their time together, completely unaware that they were being watched. The monster, instead of attacking them immediately, hid in the bushes, silently observing them from the shadows. The group, unaware of the creature nearby, continued to talk, and in their conversation, they revealed details about the monster's past. They spoke of a name that seemed familiar to the monster, John. The locals all knew the legend of John, but no one dared speak of it openly. But one of the young men in the group, Aaron, had heard the story from his uncle. Aaron's uncle told him that John had been born 70 years ago, but his mental condition was far from normal. As John grew, his mind remained childlike, stuck in a perpetual state of innocence. The locals, disapproving of John's father, took advantage of John's childlike innocence. Anyone who held a grudge against John's father would often take out their frustrations on John, knowing he couldn't fight back. John had always loved playing with toy cars. It was his one escape, his comfort. One day, as he played with his cars, a man passing by accidentally stepped on one of them, causing John to fall and break his foot. The man's injury kept him from working for months, and the entire town blamed John for it. They thought he was responsible for the man's accident, and that was when the cruelty began. The locals, in their anger, devised a plan to get revenge on John. They lied to him, telling him they had found a toy car bag at the fire tower. They told him to come to the fire tower at night if he wanted it. Trusting them, John went to the fire tower, eager to find his toy cars. But when he arrived, he didn't find the toys. Instead, he encountered a man standing there, wearing a firefighter's mask, waiting to scare him. John got scared when he saw the man and fell from the fire tower. He broke his neck and died instantly. The people who had planned to harass John became worried, fearing they would be blamed for his death and could go to jail. To protect themselves, they put a firefighter's mask on John and spread the story that John had fallen while playing on the tower. The village believed it, but John's father suspected foul play and confronted the boys who had spread the story. A fight broke out, and the group beat John's father to death. When the police got involved, they dismissed the case, and the villagers slowly forgot about it. However, John didn't forget. A week after his father's death, John rose from the ground, seeking revenge. He destroyed the village, ending those who had wronged him and his father. John's tragic story, involving his mother's locket, became known. He had been buried to rest, but the locket had the power to awaken him. Years later, when the locket was far from him, John returned to life and caused chaos. Someone found the locket and put him back to sleep. But now, with the locket away again, John was awake and determined to find it. John, now undead, couldn't be killed, but giving him the locket was the only way to put him to sleep again. After hearing John's story, the group took a selfie, unaware that John was watching them. Later, Aaron left his cabin, and John attacked him. He killed Aaron brutally, then went to the ranger's station, where he stole a firefighter's mask, uniform, and an axe. The next morning, John entered the forest and found two girls. He killed one girl in the water and brutally attacked the other girl doing yoga, pulling her spine out. John wasn't satisfied, and further destroyed her body before throwing it down a cliff. Meanwhile, two boys from the group fought, not understanding what was happening. One suggested going to the ranger's station, but they dropped the car keys in the forest in front of John. The keys had a toy car on them, which John liked. He picked it up and began playing with it. When one boy asked if it was John's doing, John attacked them, throwing an axe and killing one boy. The other boy tried to protect him but was killed too. John searched their pockets but didn't find the locket. He then saw two members of his group approaching. They had the locket. John grabbed his axe, ready to kill. But before he could attack, the girl and her companion fled on a bike, leaving the forest. John followed them, but didn't attack immediately. They reached the ranger station and told the rangers about John. The ranger, recognizing the locket, scolded the girl for taking it and explained that the locket had once belonged to John's mother. He warned them that taking it would bring John back. By night, John had already reached the station. The ranger shot at him but failed to stop him. John overpowered them, attacking the ranger and taking him back to his grave. John killed the ranger and then resumed his search for the locket. The group tried to trap John by using a boy as bait, but John killed him easily, chopping him with his axe. The girl, holding the locket, fled, hoping to escape. But no matter where she went, John appeared, killing her friend. Panicked, she found a way out of the forest and reached a road. A driver gave her a lift, but as they drove, she became unconscious from fear and a wound on her foot. The driver, trying to help, noticed her anxiety but didn't realize John was the cause. As they drove, John found his locket in the forest. After retrieving it, he left, ending his relentless search.